if you want to go on Bay's Instagram, his name is yeah, baby daddy. That's it. That's Bay's Instagram. And message him. I know you fucked up. Y'all want another story time? So how I met my new boo. If y'all haven't followed me on Instagram and followed me in my shenanigans that I've been posting on my Instagram story. My new boo and I met. I was drunk on Instagram one day and I came across his story and he said, anybody want to play iMessage games? So I DM'd him and I said, I want to play iMessage games. And I think this was like as soon as I got off the Let's get mad.
Bro, fuck you. Fuck you, bro.
For what? For what?
Nigga.
What?
You have 65 people texting me saying that you and Deshaun are back together. And I'm shaking hard as fuck. Like, I'm pacing, like, I'm so pissed. But it's cool. I don't give a fuck. You do you.
Did you not just hear that it was a prank, though? You watching the live stream, stupid.
I'm definitely not watching anything.
Well, you most definitely should be watching the live stream so you can understand that I just said that it was a fucking prank and we didn't fucking get back together.
Wait. First of all, who are you talking to?
I'm fucking talking to you.
Nah, bro.
No, because you pissed me off.
Fix your tone. For real.
You are not my dad.
Go best friend, 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 go best friend. Fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up,
What's good, Petty Gang? It's your boy Tylan, LeDuff, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, I always end up getting stuck with all of the crazy people. I don't know if that's just how the world is nowadays. I don't know if I'm crazy and delusional, or if just everybody's just crazy, you know? I'm gonna be talking about something. There's a lot of tea that needs to be spilled. I don't even know where to start, but I'll start by saying this. Y'all read the title. This is exactly what I'm about to do. And I'll put in some screenshots, some videos, and receipts for y'all to help piece everything together so that y'all get a better understanding of this story time, okay? Alrighty, where do I start? So if you've been following me for a while now, you would know that I recently got out of a bad relationship. I actually liked him. He was really cool. I felt like we were gonna bond really well. But have y'all ever met somebody where y'all's wavelengths and y'all's maturity levels are on a whole different path or on a whole different level? Me and my ex got out of a bad relationship. We kind of ended on bad terms because we're still cussing each other out as we speak. But a little bit of background story. My ex was doing a lot of things behind my back that I didn't really like. It was also getting toxic. We would argue a lot and, you know, things just were not looking good. I went through my ex's phone and saw that he was texting other people and, you know, calling them bae and said I love you, you know, that type of stuff. So I was like, this isn't cool, like, you know, and then he came up with some excuse and stuff like that. So I called off our relationship and I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I can't, like, you're wearing me down, you know? So, now this story, how I met this new boo, this new person I was talking to, was that one night I was laying in bed and I was, you know, having like several glasses of wine. So, you know, I got wine drunk a little bit. And I was on Instagram and I was scrolling through everybody's like Instagram stories. I normally don't watch Instagram stories, but I was wine drunk and I was having a good night. I was feeling good, you know. I was like, hey, you know, play some music, you know, trying to get lit. So I came across this one kid's Instagram story and it said, who wants to play iMessage games? So I didn't even click on this person's profile. I just said, fuck it, you know, just okay, like, yeah. So I responded and I said, yeah, let's play iMessage games. I'm so down to play iMessage games. And he responded, it was just like, here's my number. Normally I don't give out my number, but here you go. You know, I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, I was texting, like we were texting back and forth, and honestly, we like clicked really well. Like, you know, it almost seemed like we had the same personality, the same type of humor, you know. I was like, oh, you know, like, this can go somewhere. This seems really dope. And I went back to his Instagram profile and I was like, oh, you're actually kind of cute, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I dig this. Okay, so like we're playing iMessage games and we're just texting and then we're going back and forth and you know we're chilling and everything like that. We end up saying goodnight. That night went great. I was just like in my head. I was like, whoa, I really, you know, I fuck with them. Like I really like this dude. Like this is kind of like, it's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Like this is very weird. So the next day, we are texting again, everything's going out good the entire day. And then midway through the day, I get off from work and I was texting him and I was just like, hey, you know you're talking to somebody famous. Obviously I'm not famous, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like joking. And he's like, oh, you're famous? I said, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. And he's just like, oh, I thought that was just a link on your Instagram profile that for me to check out your terrible music. I was just like, no, it's not music, like I'm a legit YouTuber. So he went and he checked out my YouTube channel. And he said, oh, I used to talk to one of the light-skinned dudes in your videos. And I was like, I bet you did. I bet you did talk to him. I said, I said, I bet you did. I said, what's his name, Dijon? And then he tried to like not answer the question. He tried to change the topic. So I kept on bringing the topic back up. I said, was it Dijon? Were you talking to Dijon? And then he kept on like trying to change the subject, And I said, dude, did you talk to Dijon? And he finally said yes. And I said, for how long? And he was like 3 to 4 months. And I was like, oh, okay. Keep in mind, me and my ex, we broke up like 2.5, 3 months ago at this point. I met this kid back in September of 2018. So I was like, oh, y'all talked for 3 to 4 months. That's pretty interesting because me and my ex, we dated for like 8 months. So 3 to 4 months, that's about halfway through our, you know, entire relationship, you know what I'm saying? So I said, oh, really? You used to talk to him? I said, when did you stop talking to him? He said about 2 weeks ago. So I said, oh, okay. I did the math and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, my ex was talking to him while we were still dating. You know, I was like, oh, okay. This is very, very interesting. Cool. I was like, oh yeah, well, that used to be my boyfriend. And he was like, oh shit, really? I thought y'all were just friends. I said, no, we played as friends on YouTube for his sake for a little bit. And then we broke up and I stopped caring. So yeah, that was my boyfriend. He's just like, oh wow, what? I said, yep, it looks like we both got played. And you know, he started getting in his feelings and he's just like, man, I really like the kid. Like, I thought that I loved him, we used to talk all the time. And I was just like, you know, there's that little feeling in my heart, like deep down inside. I was so mad. I was just like, oh, like, I wasn't necessarily mad at Caleb. The dude's name is Caleb, my new boo. But Caleb, I was like, you know what, Caleb, like, I can't be mad at you because you didn't know. I'm mad at my ex for doing that behind our backs and then playing us. Like, I knew what my ex was doing, like, after I looked through his phone, but like, you can't just play with people's hearts like that, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, oh, man, like, I'm so mad and stuff like that. So Caleb was just like, we should do something to get back at him. I said, I'm so down to do something to get back at him. And he's just like, awesome, well, I'm gonna post you on my Instagram story because my ex follows Caleb. So I was just like, oh, okay. He's like, I'm gonna post you on my Instagram story and say that that we're gonna collaborate soon. I was like, dope, do that. So he posted me on his story, I reposted it on mine, and my ex got mad. And you know, like, that's the ultimate goal that we were trying to do that night. We kept on talking, and we talked for a while. And as we kept on talking every day, like, it almost, like, things escalated very, very quickly. We used to talk on the phone all the time, like, call, text, and he was starting to catch, like, really, really deep feelings really, really fast. And I started catching really, really deep feelings really, really fast, too. Like, it almost seemed like we were just... It's stupid. It almost seemed like we were in love a little bit. It just sounds stupid. I know it does. It sounds stupid. But yeah, he started getting like really, really protective, overly protective. Like, oh, you can't be posting this, you can't be posting that, And you know what? I was just like, okay, dope, I can't. And keep in mind, Caleb he told me that he lives in the DMV area, so East Coast. So all we could do was just talk on the phone, and like we were planning on him coming down to Texas, so like I can fly him down, and do all that, so we can finally meet, do some videos together, So we kind of like established like this relationship, but we wanted to take things slow. Like, he used to get on my Instagram, he used to get on my YouTube live, and like we would talk on the phone, but things just started spiraling out of hand a little bit. eventually started questioning us in our relationship. I was just like, you know, like, I can see why, because people were starting to say like, well, y'all are only together because y'all wanted to get back at Dijon, and like, Tylan, you're moving too fast, and da da da. I'm just like, ugh. I'm just trying to ignore everything, you know. I was being very like ignorant. But I started listening, and I started peeping a lot of things. Like Caleb, he used to do like a lot of things that would intentionally make me mad. He would like be DMing other people and da da da. And I'm just like, dude, like, I'm not trying to backtrack. I'm not trying to go back into another relationship that was like that. I'm really not. But things started catching my attention. So I'm crazy, right? So I started doing my little investigation skills. You know, I was like trying to snoop around. I was like, let me see what's going on, because something about this kid just isn't right with me. So Caleb said that he went to jail for 2 months beating up kids with a bat. He got into a fight, and he sent me a video, and I was just like, but that video showed him with a bat in his hand, but it didn't actually show him beating up anybody. But yeah, so I started like doing my investigation skills, and I just felt very, very uneasy. So I contacted one of my friends. She's actually a supporter of mine. That's how I met her and stuff like that. I told her, and I was just like, something just doesn't seem right to me about Caleb. And she was like, why, what's going on? I was like, well, because Caleb never wanted to FaceTime. And I was like, you don't want to FaceTime? I was like, this is so like awkward. Every time I would ask to FaceTime, it would be like a diversion. Like, it would be like another topic he would bring up. Like the night before, he got mad at me because I did something on YouTube Live and said, I played a prank on people and said me and my ex are back together. He didn't like it. So I got on the phone with him. I said, FaceTime me. He said, bye, and hung up, and did not text me, call me, or nothing for 4 hours. And he called me back and then acted like nothing happened. So I was like, this is very, very interesting. So I contacted her, and I was like, I need you to help me investigate something about Caleb, because something isn't right. Like, I think he's not who he says he is, you know? So I started doing all my crazy little Tylan antics, and I searched for him online. I did reverse phone lookups. I did address lookups and everything was locked down and private. And I was like, why would somebody just have all their information just so private and locked down, you know? So I was like, something just isn't right here. So my friend, she pointed out something very, 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 very specific. She said, do you see what's wrong with this photo? And I said, what's wrong with this photo? And then she says, it says a name on it. And I looked, and if y'all ever been in Disney World, they can do like custom made hats where they do like graffiti on it. And he had one in his photos, but the name said Donovan. And I was like, oh, Donovan, huh? This is very, very interesting, Donovan. So I found out where Caleb's number was coming from, and it was in the DMV area. It was in West Virginia. So I was like, Donovan, West Virginia, and I put 2 and 2 together, and I did my online searches, and I found a person. I don't know if I should put their personal information out there. I'm not going to put his full name out there, but I did find the original person where the photos were coming from. So Caleb ended up being a catfish, or so you would think he would be a catfish. So after I found this out, like, my heart was broken, because I'm just like, I got catfished again with somebody. Because me and Caleb, I've been talking to him for like a month and some weeks now. But I found out that person, so I started messaging him. I messaged him on Instagram. I found his I found his Facebook, then I found his Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter, and I started messaging him. I was just like, I think there's some information that you want to hear. And he responded back really, really quickly. He said, what? But I started feeling uneasy. I was like, this person did not seem like surprised. He didn't ask who am I? Like, it was just what? I was like, interesting. So I started telling him, like, there's this account on Instagram that has over 20,000 followers, and he's using your photos, da 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 da. And he was like, oh, what, really? I was just like, yeah, you know, the conversation, like, I started questioning this person too. Like, I know that this person is really Donovan, like his name is Donovan and Caleb and stuff like that, and I was like, huh, this is very interesting. Like, I saw on the real guy's Facebook page, like his mom was tagged, his brother was tagged, all that type of stuff, and I was just like, oh, this must be it, you know, like, because Caleb's Instagram, he didn't tag anybody. It didn't seem like anybody was like in school with him, nothing like that, like no friends. Like, you can spot a catfish profile if you actually look into it. So I was talking to him and then I started questioning him. I was like, you know, like, did you know that this was happening? And he said, no, I didn't know. I said, did you know this was happening for 3 years? He said, no. But I'll post screenshots of everything, but as we were going through, as I was like asking him questions and going through everything, it almost seemed like this kid was expecting me to find him. Almost like the conversation was a little bit too bland. It didn't seem like he was shocked that I found him. You know, like, he eventually added me on Snapchat, he followed me on Instagram, like, you know, it almost seemed like this kid is Caleb too, you know? So I started being like, huh, maybe Caleb is his middle name, maybe this is like his account, but he doesn't want people to know, you know, like trying to be like really like lay low. But all at the same time, I can't say that because Caleb, like, this guy has to be the real one. Caleb is a catfish, or Caleb is the same guy, you know? And the thing is, the reason why I start saying that is because Caleb started acting really different. Like, he stopped texting me, he stopped calling me. Like, after I found out who the real person is, like, he stopped texting me and calling me and stuff like that. He started being like really distant, and I was like, this is very, very, like, this is weird almost. Like, it just so happened that Caleb wanted to stop texting me and calling me so much after I found out who I didn't even tell Caleb. I didn't tell Caleb that I found the original person. I didn't tell Caleb like I found the profile. Like, I was genuinely like trying to get, I was gonna eventually ask Caleb, like, who are you really, you know? But he stopped picking up my phone calls and he stopped texting me as often. He like leave me unread and stuff like that. And I was like, this is very, very interesting. So if y'all want, please go report that Instagram profile because that is a catfish. But I just think that it's weird that this person was doing this for 3 years, since 2015, and the original person didn't know about it for 3 years. But the thing is just that the original person did know that it was happening, but just not for 3 years. Because he was like, yeah, he said, yeah, somebody else got catfished by him too. Came to me and said that I got catfished by him too. I was just like, oh, really? Interesting. So somebody came to you and said that they got catfished by this account, but you didn't know this was happening for 3 years? And he also said that he slipped up and he said, oh yeah, weren't you supposed to be flying Caleb down to Texas so that y'all can do videos? And I was just like, in my head, I was just like, how did you know that? Because he told me that Caleb had him blocked on Instagram. So I said, how did you see that? And he said, well, my girlfriend has him on Instagram. I said, your girlfriend has him on Instagram, huh? But if your girlfriend had him on Instagram, your girlfriend could have easily came to me and told me that this page is a catfish. So why didn't she? You know? There's a lot of things that just did not add up to me. There's a lot of things that I'm very, very skeptical and fishy about. I'm leaving the situation alone. Like, I don't even want to talk to Caleb anymore. But I do, like, I love things like this, like these little conspiracies. Like, I really want to know who Caleb actually is. And I think Caleb is the original person. But basically, I had my heart broken again, like, really quick. I was dumb to jump into something so quickly, but I'm young, I'm living, and I'm learning. So what do y'all think about this situation? That's it for this story time. I'll keep y'all posted as we go on. Please give this video a big thumbs up and leave some comments in the comment section below about what you think about this tea. And hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces. And I wish we never did.